Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome to today's video. We are going to be going through my favorite products in 2022. There will be some overlap from the best products I tried in 2022, but there is a lot of different products as well that I had picked up in 2021 and they've become favorites this year. There are quite a few items, not a ton. So I just thought we would run through them together. If you want to see my best purchases of 2022, I will link that below. If you're new here, hey, my name is Megan. I'm doing 31 days of content here in the month of December. So make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, like this video, all of the things. And yeah, let's go ahead and chat about some of my favorites this year. This is definitely one of my favorite videos to film because it's also so fun to come back to it at the end of the next calendar year and see like what has stood the test of time. So I love filming this. But to start out, one of my favorite products this year was the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip. I currently have 3 of them in my collection. I've completely finished one. I have another one that's almost gone. And I have, you know, two that are pretty much new. This is like has become a favorite this year, and that's what you're going to see. A lot of these products that are listed in my favorites are also some of my most used products. So they're things that I've reached for a lot over the year, regardless of my larger collection. But yeah, loved these. I highly recommend them. They are very hydrating on the lips. They also leave a nice juicy shine as they're marketed to. The packaging is not my favorite, but it's not something that really like breaks it for me. I know some people hate the packaging, but I haven't had a bad experience with it yet. It's just, I don't know. But the product itself is really good. The next products that have become favorites this year are the Essence Soft and Precise lip pencils. One of my friends over on IG had recommended these, and I'm so glad I decided to try them because I really like them. I just think that they do such a nice job. They are $3. I have 2 shades. I feel like I'm going through them a little bit quicker than maybe some of my more expensive liners, but for $3, who fucking cares? Like, you know what I mean? These have just become staples. I think that they are wonderful and I highly recommend them. Yeah, I've used the crap out of those. The next product that I really love this year that I bought, I think it was at the end of 2022 or somewhere around there on my friend Danielle's recommendation, but it is the Charlotte Tilbury Color Cameleon. And the one I have is Champagne Diamonds, which is meant for blue eyes. And look how gorgeous this is. I love just popping this into the inner corner for just a little bit of sparkle. Like, it is so sparkly. It really just makes blue eyes pop. It is absolutely stunning. You get quite a bit of product in here. I have used the literal shit out of this, and I haven't really made that much progress in it in terms of, you know, using it up. So I loved this, and it is like more of just like, I feel like this is one of those just like treat yourself items. It's not a staple. It's not something you need. It might not even be something you use every day. And of course, it's a little bit more on the expensive side, but it's something that is just, when I reach for it, I love it. And it's just, you know, the extra touch of something like special, like when you want to feel special or like you did a little something extra. I feel like this brings that to the look. So really love this year, and I'll, you know, obviously continue to use it. The next product is not currently here with me. It's at work, so I'll just insert a photo. But it is the Kaja Gloss Shots. I have almost completely used up 2 minis. So I have loved them. They've become a favorite. I have used the crap out of them. They are honestly one of the most hydrating glosses I've ever used. Like, it is so crazy to me. They're super hydrating. They're super glossy. They look yummy. I have a full-size replacement ready for when I finish this other one. They're just so good. Like, I know everyone kind of like hyped them up and stuff, and I get it. They're good. I absolutely love it. I also have listed the Merit Signature Lipsticks. This was a favorite this year. I've used a lot of this. This is all we have left. And I know it looks like that, but mine broke. So what I did was I scraped it out. I stuck this down and then I used up all of the stuff from down underneath before I started using this again. So it's been through it, but I really liked it. And I'm going to focus on it, I think, this year just because it looks gross. And then I'll probably buy another one. But the shade is just really beautiful. And it was like it was a pretty heavy go-to in the summer when I was, you know, a little bit tanner. It was really just like a good natural lip. I also recently got the shade Baby. The brand gifted this one to me. And I love this shade. It is so beautiful. And what I love about this formula is that it's like a light wash on the lips and it's really comfortable. Really, really comfortable. Plus the packaging is actually, in my opinion, feels pretty luxury high end. So it's not one of those things where you're paying a lot and you're getting a cheap component like the Dior ones. Those are actually really nice components and I love them. Highly recommend them. Some of the best lippies that I discovered this year. The next product is the Milani lip oil. I've completely used one of these up. I have a backup ready to roll as soon as I finish another lip oil. It is just, I have the cherry lime and not only do I love the scent, but I love the dofa. It's a little bit bigger and the product itself is very hydrating. It also gives my lips a really nice tint to where they look juicier and fuller because it has that like, the way the tint plays with the tone of my lips is beautiful. It doesn't look like red or anything like that, like it does in the component, but the way the tint plays with my natural coloring is just so good. I highly recommend that one. Highly recommend all of these, obviously. I don't know why I keep saying that. Next up, one of my most used products is the Bite Beauty mascara. The way that I'm bent out of shape, that they are no longer. Okay, I don't want to say I've never panic bought because I panic bought something else that we'll get to in this video, but I've never panic bought like this. This one is almost empty and I have 7 more. I have 7 more ready because this is my absolute favorite mascara, you guys. Like, it is so fucking good. And I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't know. I'm still grieving. I'm still in denial. But yeah, I still have 7 more of these replacements. So I should have at least enough to get me through, you know, next year, pending that the formula holds up well in the tubes. But yeah, this is my most used product. It is literally the only mascara in my collection. I get ones from, you know, subscription boxes here and there that I try out, but this is the one. So I'm, you know, bent out of shape that you can't get it anymore. It sucks. Next up is the Dior Backstage. This became such a quick favorite. This concealer did, you guys. It's about halfway gone. I really just love the applicator. It's like a little paintbrush. And I have the shade 2 in, which is like perfect for me. I prefer more of a skin tone like concealer. This doesn't need, on me anyways, in my experience, does not need to be set with a powder or anything like that. It is just quite literally perfect. And it is one that I will probably consider repurchasing once I finish it because that's how much I've enjoyed it. And a good concealer can sometimes be hard to figure out like what works best on your skin type, your tone, your texture. And this one does all those things for me. Like I said, it's the Dior Backstage Perfect Concealer. They have a couple concealers. I want to try the other one too, but I really love this one. And honestly, the only reason I put it down was because it was getting a little dark for me and I need to finish this one. So yeah, love this product. Definitely a favorite for me over the course of 2022. Next up, this is the other thing I did a little bit panic buying, is the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Foundation. So I discovered this right as they were discontinuing it. Love that for me. And this is so good. It's actually what I have on today. I feel like it is probably one of the better matches foundation wise that I have found for my skin tone. I enjoy this because it has a hydrating factor, so it looks really juicy on the skin, but I don't find it to get like oily or greasy more than any other, you know, foundation. Like sometimes I do need to touch it up with a powder, but not always. As you can tell, I really like it. I have two more replacements of this in this shade, and then I have one in my more summer shade. So this is a very well-loved product and was a favorite throughout 2022. And it really just sucks that you cannot get your hands on it anymore. So sorry about that, guys. Next up, we have another concealer, and it is the Purelisse BB Glow concealer. I love this. It's the one that I'm wearing today. I have the shade Light, which is quite literally perfect for me. I love the way this applies. I love the way this wears. The only thing I don't love is this fucking packaging. Why? Why? I just hate that. So yeah, I wish it was a doe foot, but formulation wise, this is something that and you can't really tell how much I've used because there's air in there, but once the air goes, it's going to come down pretty quick, I think, because I use this a lot for a while. It's pretty much this and my Dior one, but this was a favorite this year. I really enjoy it. The shade range isn't good. They said they were working on expanding it. As of now, I don't think I've seen an expansion, but the formulation is good if you can squeeze into one of the shades. The next favorite that I had here in 2022 was the MAC Glow Play Blush in the shade So Natural. As you can see, like, I got this in the spring and I have loved the absolute shit out of it. I actually for a while had to put it away because it's all I was using. I wasn't using any of my other blushes, so I put it away for a while, and I more recently, over the past like 2 or 3 months, popped it back out. Haven't used it a ton just because it's more of a summer vibe for me. I've been using the other shade that I have, which is Blush Please. That's the one I'm wearing today. I've been using this shade more in the winter, but this formulation is just top freaking notch. It's like nothing I've ever tried ever. It's one that I will definitely repurchase. It's just like, it's putty-like. It goes on the skin. This shade is beautiful. If you want like if you're on the light fair area of skin tone, I think if you're looking for something that is very natural on your skin, like a really light wash of color, you would really love this. It is kind of like a putty cream formula to powder, and it holds up beautifully. It looks so natural on the skin. It's really hard to overdo it with these, which I like. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites in 2022. I'm obsessed. The next product is, okay, so this is a newer one to me, is the Phytosurgence blush in the shade Smolder. My friend decluttered this to me because she's like, I wasn't getting a lot of use, so I wanted it to get used, so she sent it to me. And so if you're thinking, wow, this doesn't look that loved, that's why. It is new to me. I've only had it for about a month. But I'm mentioning it in this video because I previously owned this shade and I finished it. I finished a whole pot, and it doesn't look like a lot, but brother, there is a lot in there. It's pretty much the only blush that I used for like a year because let me just show you the tone, you guys. The tone is a dream. It is a dream. I love it so much. The way that it looks on my skin is just, it's so pretty. Let me try to blend it out a little bit over here so you can, yeah, it is just so stunning. I love the formula. It's like a moussey texture. You don't need a lot. This is a great bang for your buck as well. Because like I said, I use this almost every single day for a year before I was able to finish it up. Because you don't need a lot. They're pigmented. But for sure cannot do a 2020 favorite without Smolder from Phytosurgeons. It was just knock out of the park, you guys. Knock out of the park. The next product is also from Phytosurgeons. It is the Spectral Shines, and this one is a little newer to me. It was decluttered to me from a friend who just didn't find it worked for them. But I emptied 3 of these this year. I love them. They give the most beautiful natural skin-like glow, and I feel like, I don't know, some people just struggle to get them to like work for them or whatnot, but I feel like, I mean, I haven't had that issue, and it just gives the most beautiful lit from within. Like this right here is the reason why I had decluttered most of my powdered highlight, because of this formula. It is so gorgeous, and I freaking love it, you guys. I highly recommend. So good. Beautiful lit from within glow. Next up for favorites is the Nude Sticks Bronzer in Bondi Bay. I fell in love with this in a way I did not expect to. I actually miss it when it's not in my basket. I think it's because the tone is just like perfect. It's absolutely gorgeous. You can draw it straight onto your face and it blends out like a fucking dream. Like, it is so good that I'm like, why did I wait so long to try it? I don't even know. But if you've been thinking about it or you've been on the fence, I say take the jump. You will not regret it. It is stunning. I wish they would just not have this down here and make the packaging smaller, but whatever. But yeah, and you get literally there. I'm not going to roll it all the way up, but there is so much product in this. Like, it would take me a long time to finish it, but I'm looking forward to using it a lot more in the year 2023. Just beautiful. So good. Like, so good. The next bronzer I have is the Huda Tantour, which this is, I think I mentioned this in the best products I tried in 2022. And this actually was one that I did not like when I tried it. I didn't like it. But since I've been trying it and playing with it, I found that I really love it. Like, it actually has, I have a really nice dip going in it, you guys. It's beautiful. It's just a little bit, it can be a little bit deep. It's very pigmented. So you have to go in with a really light hand. But overall, it's a great tone and it blends out beautifully. You just have to make sure, you know, you're going in with a little bit of a light hand, which is something that I don't like because I have a heavy hand. But it's absolutely stunning, and it was one of my favorites this year, and I cannot wait to use it more in 2023 because it's just all right. Next, I think all we have left to do are eyeshadow palettes. So like I said, like, this was not as long of a video, but it's because like they're, you know, I only have a handful of items that I'm like obsessed with. So let's go ahead and dig into the palettes. I'm just going to grab them from off the top and we'll go from there. So the first one that was a favorite for me this year was the Huda Beauty Naughty Nude palette. I think that this one is like pretty underrated. You get some really beautiful mauve-y pink deep tones. Like, they're mauve with brown undertones, so they don't look as pink on the eye. But you get some really beautiful mattes in here, and you get some stunning shimmers. Like, the shimmers in here are just, oh, they are so sparkly, so beautiful. This shade here is one of her marble ones. Beautiful, unique. I love that. It plays really well with a lot of the tones in here. I'm pretty sure I'm close to a couple pans in this palette as well. And it's one that I want to be a little bit more intentional with using next year, because I use this a lot when I first got it at the beginning of the year. Then I kind of took a break from it, and then I used it a lot here toward the end of the year. And it's definitely one of my favorites in my collection, and I used it a lot in comparison to my other ones. So I wanted to mention it because I think that, you know, you're gonna see it a lot, especially if you're over on Instagram. You already have been seeing this one a lot. I have not been able to put it down lately. It's just really beautiful color story, really well done. One of my favorites. Next up, speaking of Huda Beauty, well, it's the Mercury Retrograde palette. Mine has since, and I'm really hoping that it doesn't like dry out or go bad. Everything's feeling fine so far. It's been broke for like 2 weeks. Look at those shades. Fuck. Like literally this. Oh no. And then one of my mats in here is cracking because I was like, oh, I'll just depot it. Well, this is hard to depot. You can't depot these. Anyways, so yeah, one of my favorites this year was the Huda Mercury Retrograde. I've, as you can see, gotten quite a bit of use out of it this year. I have 4 pans. I have a pretty nice dip in Utopia, and I'm working on hitting pan in Momentum. Once I do, I'm probably gonna do, well, I actually might go ahead and do a dry repress because I tried to pop it out. I was unsuccessful and I cracked it, and I just don't want it to break all over. So I might go ahead and repress it, but I really love this one, you guys. I've done quite a few looks over here on YouTube and Instagram, but I like how you can get a very neutral look, you can get a pink look, you can get a pastel look. You can do loud things with this, or you can do more neutral things with this. It's a very versatile palette. It's one that looks intimidating, or I wouldn't expect to be able to get a lot of neutral out of, but you can. It is very beautiful. Like once you just sit down, it's one of those, once you sit down and you get comfortable with it, you'll be able to see like, you know, how versatile it is. And God, the shimmers in here are just wow. The only shade I'm not really in love with is Mercury. This just like doesn't, which is this one here. It just doesn't like look good on my eye. Has like more of a black base, and that just never looks cute on me. But other than that, I love all the other shades. And yeah, I love this palette. It is definitely one of my most used this year. I used it mostly in the spring. I've done looks with it since, but it was a very, to me, felt spring. So it was a very spring heavy palette. Okay, so next up, let's do a Natasha Denona palette. The Biba palette is one of my favorites this year. Definitely one of my most used. I hit 2 pans in it this year, which if you have this palette, you know the kind of time that takes, the kind of use that takes. So I hit 2 new pans in it this year, these 2 down here. And I have a beautiful dip going in this shade. I'm not anywhere close to pan, but I have a beautiful dip going in that shade. And then I have a nice dip starting in the Subculture shade. This is just one of when I feel like I don't know what I want to use, what do I want to do, I reach for this. It's just, you get so much variety, and yet it doesn't feel overwhelming. It's also simple, easy to build looks. You can get a really good variety of looks out of this, in my opinion. You have cool tones, warm tones, more neutral tones. You can get some yellowy orange stuff going on. You can get some more like salmon. Like, it's really just a versatile palette. I think it's one of her best, in my opinion. It's my favorite Natasha Denona palette, if that tells you anything. The shimmers are a little, like, I don't know, on the more lackluster kind of side compared to some of her newer shimmer formulas. But I don't mind. I think that's really pretty. I enjoy wearing stuff like that to like work. So I love it. This is definitely one of my all-time favorites, and it continued to be a favorite throughout 2022. So I highly recommend this one. The next palette that I wanted to talk about that became a pretty quick favorite is the Charlotte Tilbury Quad in the shade Pillow Talk Dreams. I think that this packaging is so cheap for it being $54. Like, that is frustrating to me. I'd recommend probably like snagging this on a sale or something, but this is just so beautiful. It's another one that's really easy to grab for when you're in a rush or you don't have a ton of time, mostly because, you know, I love just using these 2 shades. Like, these 2 tones together are the perfect matte look on my eyes. Absolutely stunning. And for that reason, I've used it a lot. Like, you can't really tell, but but I have used this a lot, which is, I guess, good because, I mean, it sounds like it'll be around for a while. But I'm not someone who's ever really been into quads. I'm more of like a palette person, but maybe I just needed the right quad because now I have 2 quads that I'm obsessed with, and this is one of them, which I said this one is the Dream, so it's the darker version, and I love it. I think it is so beautiful. It's one of those that I had to put away and keep away from myself so that I would try other things. Another favorite in 2022 was the Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette. This one is in the shade Light. You can see she is well loved. I think that the color story is great. Just like easy, basic, neutral tones that like I use and love all the time. I also think that the shimmer formula in this one is really special. If you like those really reflective, flaky, sparkly shimmers, that's what's in this palette. And then the blush, like literally the blush is what has my heart in this palette. It is so beautiful, you guys. The formula is stunning. It's buildable. It kind of reminds me of the MAC Glow Play Blushes, to be honest. But this tone is just perfect. I will probably hit pan in this in the beginning of the year. I want to focus on it because it's just so beautiful. And then the highlighter is pretty as well. I'm not a big highlighter person, but this does look gorgeous on the brow bone, so I have used it for that. But yeah, this was just an unexpected favorite. I picked it up on Mercari for like $20, and I had heard like kind of a lot of bad reviews about it. But I was like, okay, for $20, like, you know, I'll try it out. And then I was like, fucking obsessed. Like, I love this, and I think I will continue to, but I guess we'll see. Last 2 is going to be the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions palette. I know some of you were like, where has this been? Because I didn't pick this up in 2022, so that's why it hasn't been in some of those other videos. This was, you know, a 2021 purchase, but when I tell you I've used it, I've used it. This is hands down one of my favorite palettes in my collection. I know it might seem pretty basic, whatever, but it is really special. The mattes in here are pigmented, so go in, you know, with a light hand, but they do blend out really beautifully. And I love the tones. The toppers are just, they're special. They're so beautiful. I love them all over the eye. This is one that once I pull it out, I usually have to like force myself to put it back. But since I have less coming in this year, maybe we'll see a few new pans in here. I am hopeful. I'm starting to get some pretty nice wear in this shade. But yeah, this is one that I really love, and I highly recommend it. I do like it more than the rose one, but I think that kind of just comes down to the tones that we have. And these are more these are more tones that I love and enjoy and use. So yeah, I highly recommend. I have not had any experience with hard pan or anything like that, just to be clear, and it seems to be holding up pretty well. What's the shelf life on this one? The shelf life is only 12 months on this. Hold on, little baby. So hopefully we don't, I mean, I think if we saw any expiring going on, it would probably be in the creams. But yeah, I love this and I adore this. This is one that, like, it's hard to explain what it does until you have it and you know it and you see it and you feel it. Like, Steph and I have talked about this before because I told her, I was like, I cannot explain what is so special about this, but like once it's on the eyes, it is just special. It is so beautiful. I love it. And then she bought it and she was like, I get it now. Like, I can't put it down. And I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know what it is. It just really beautiful. I'm going to leave this out because I want to use it. So stunning. And then the last product that was a favorite for me in 2022, which you might see, some of you might have seen this coming, is the Tom Ford Quad in Body Heat. This has captivated my soul. I have it on today. Beautiful. I was super nervous about this because I've heard a lot of really mixed reviews about the Tom Ford quads. It sounds like their formulation is not consistent, but it made me kind of afraid to try this and still kind of afraid to try others because I'm like, oh, what if it's not as good, you know? But wow, this one is a home run, you guys. The way, like, the textures in this are beautiful. The tones in this are beautiful. And I don't even really know, like, I don't have anything like this in my collection. I wish there was a little bit of I wish there was a bigger difference in these two shades. They're not the same. This one has like more of a purple taupe vibe, but you know, like, look how much I've used it. Like, I've completely, you can tell which three are my favorite, but I've completely worn it down and they are just, oh my gosh, they're so good. They just bring, like, I was really scared because of the texture, but they blend on so beautifully. They blend out great. I personally think they look really nice. They have a really beautiful sparkly shimmer to the eye as well. Like, this one is just so special. I'm not a big fan of the packaging because it comes with those stupid brushes that people don't use, or at least I don't. So there's a lot of wasted space in there for me. But the formula of this, so good, you guys. Like, this is one I've been having trouble putting down because it's just so beautiful. Every look I create with it, I love. And it's actually, like, pretty versatile. You can get a lot of different things out of this. I usually just use 2 shadows. Like, today, I'm using the top 2. And that's it. Yeah. So pretty. Highly recommend. So if you're wanting to dabble in Tom Ford, then I would say start with this one. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, so those were my favorites in 2022. Let me know if we shared any favorites, or just, you know, drop in the comments some of your favorites in 2022. I love seeing what you guys loved, and if I haven't tried it, it gives me ideas of different things to try. But yeah, those are all the things that I just couldn't put down this year and really, like, took the cake for me, knocked my socks off, that I used the most, which you could tell in, like, some of those products, like, how well they were used. So that's kind of what I like to do when it comes to my favorites. I want to pick items that make me feel joy, inspired, and you can physically see the use. So yeah, I'm already excited to see, you know, where things are in 2023 when it comes to these products. But yeah, anyways, I will stop rambling. I hope that you guys have an incredible day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in tomorrow's video. Bye.